Now, a couple things. One, you need access, right? You will need as it's stated here, some lab, some Linux platform to complete these tasks. You cannot use test out because test out is simulation, right? Simulation is not the same thing as live. So you have what's today? Today's already Wednesday. We're off. You're off of all of next week. I can open the final already. Publish it. You know what I mean? Just get it done, and then that you're over. You're done. You're done. That's it, right? There's no point for two of us to hang out as much as want to stare at each other into our eyes and talk shit all day. But that's fine with me. We can update. Excuse me. I could open up the final and get it out. So you'll need some distribution, right, to complete these tasks. I encourage you. You should know which and how to access whatever Linux platform you're going to be running or using already. This is not a surprise. I've been mentioning this for a couple of weeks already. My suggestion is just run LabX. Second, right, you're going to need to know how to take screenshots. I think most of you know how to take a screenshot. Okay? I've had students take pictures with their phone, and then they're like, "How do I get the pictures to you?" And if you're in IT, and this is 2025, and you don't know how to do a screenshot or how to take the pictures from your phone and put them in a Microsoft Word document, man, you gotta reevaluate your career choice, I think. Okay, so I'm not even gonna go there with that one, right? So the screenshots will be pasted into like a Word document, right? So you can submit them. Makes your life easier. I don't want to just get a file full of pictures. Okay, task number 1 right here. Task number 1, insert whatever images, boom, boom. Task number 2, boom, boom. Task number 3, boom, boom, whatever it is, right? Once you're done, to save some space, you can compress that file, or you can convert it over to a PDF. I'm gonna leave that up to you. Okay? All right. So again, you'll need access to some distribution. If you don't want to mess with any install, you just use LabX, and you should be okay. Right?
Oh, so we can do the test on LabX?
Yes. Again, as I mentioned before, you're going to need access to a Linux system. Okay? And I would encourage you to know how to access it before, taking care of the final. You got plenty of time still, right? But if you wait till the last week or the last couple of days to look for a distribution, you ain't gonna make it.
When's the last day of school?
Okay, the last day of school is different from the last day of class, which is different from the last day of any assignments for my class. As confusing as the hell that is, right? The last day of school is December 12th, right? The last day of this class officially is December 3rd, right? December 3rd, officially. We're off this week, or you're off this week, okay? The last day to submit any assignments for this class will be Sunday, December 7th. And I will send out reminders and via the announcements and post that. Okay.
Remember when we downloaded Linux to our USB, we could use that too, right?
Again, yes, but you're gonna have to know how to get to it before you, I mean, that's something you should know how to get to, but, right? And that's why we did it, to prepare you. Hopefully you didn't lose your USB, hopefully you know how to launch Linux, hopefully, that's why you wanna take advantage of the week and get all your ducks in a row, okay?
Okay.
Alright, so again, if you use a different Linux distribution, of course, you may have different package managers, right? For us, I think in test out, they showed us Yum and DNF. We're not using Zyper or Pacman. Okay. Also, some file names, right, might be slightly different. Just depends on what you're using, right? Screenshots after each task. You'll take a screenshot, okay, and paste all your screenshots into one Word document, and then clearly label it task number 1, task number 2, okay? Save that, create a folder on whatever computer you're using, save that file, and save space. If you're using Windows, you can just zip it, right click on the folder, and compress, and that's what you're gonna submit to me, because it's gonna add up pretty quick in space, right? Okay. So these are commands. These are commands that we've covered, whether in class, handouts, also in test out. Okay. All right. So task number 1. Task number 1, Mr. Okay, and I'll just kind of go through a little bit here, right? So task number 1, this should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry. Open terminal, change your current directory to etc. Display the current working directory. List all the files and subdirectories in the etc with a long list format. Save all the listing to a file name etc_list.txt in your home directory. So that's right. That's part of it. So go through number 1 real quick. So if I'm using LabX, right? It said change directory to etc. Okay, our present working directory. We know we're there. PWD. Do a long display, long list, LSL, right? And I know it's going to go off screen. Depending on what platform you're using, you may not have all these files. If you're using your USB, you're probably not going to have all those directories, right? Then send all of the files to a file called list, right? LSL, and then caret, which is send to what? Send to etc on home directory, underscore list.txt. So it takes that entire list, sends it over to etc underscore list.txt, ls, right? Oops. Where am I? Be quote. I don't want to be there. What is this? ls. I'm in another directory. Hold on, let me close that one. Don't worry, people. The file's still there. And that's the nice thing about working with a live machine versus simulation, is that whatever we worked on is still going to be there, right? So cd, if I do cd, etc, right, ls, there's all your files, but then when I get to the home directory, caret, there we go. And there's the file, right? So of course, the screenshot should include, the commands that you did, right? The commands that, you typed in to get there, to get to that. Alright, let's see. Alright, number two, we're creating a directory, copy some logs, compress them, right? The home directory, create a directory named practice backup, copy the files from the var log directly into the practice backup, okay? Create a compressed tar archive of what we just copied over. Okay, so cd, give me to my home directory, oops. Okay, so my home directory, make directory, right? Make directory, practice underscore backup, right? Copy everything from the var log wildcard or asterisk dot log. Oh, where's my star? Let me see. Shift. That one worked. Huh? Well, we're gonna run with it. See if it picks it up. It should be an asterisk log, and copy that to the practice underscore backup. Okay. Now, list practice underscore backup. Make sure I copied something there. Yeah. So there's some files in there, right? So we copied. The command was, the goal is to copy from the var log, everything with the log extension over to practice backup. There it is. And then to compress, or hopefully it's installed. Yeah, it is. Tar. These are switches. C, Z, V, F, practice underscore backup dot tar, right, dot GZ, practice underscore back up. And there they are, right? And if we do ls long, there's our backup right here, boom, right there. Okay. So compress, that's called a tar ball, right? In Windows, the most common is like Windows zip or zip file. Before Windows 8, zip was not part of the operating system or compressing, and you had to install third-party programs like WinZip or TarZ to do compression. But now, ever since Windows 8 and up, it's part of the OS. In Linux and in Mac, it's been around since the advent of the OS. All right, let's see, number 3. It says goal, practice user group commands. Right, we may get some permission errors. Remember, change mod. Okay, let's see. That's fine. Run the commands anyways to observe the error message. The goal is to practice. We're going to try to create a username, practice user, add practice user to the admin sudo group, right? Attempt to set a password, okay? And remember, if you go back to announcements, I posted handouts on how we did all of this. So they're still there. All right. So let's go number 3 here, right? Sudo, we need administrative rights. Sudo user, add the name of the user, practice user. Alright, we were able to sudo user mod ag sudo add to a group. That's what the AG stands for. Sudo to what? To the practice. Practice user. Right, and then the password. Sudo password practice user. And there you go. So we created a user, right? We created a user. We added the user mods. We have 3 commands: user add, the name of the user, modify the user, add to a group, okay? Administrative group, AG, and then assign the password the password in this case was practice user, right? Oh, new password, I'm sorry. New password, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Retype 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. Okay, so the last command, sudo, remember, is your administrator. We need that sudo command to run it in administrative mode. And we're changing the password to practice user. We typed in the password, in this case, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Sorry.
And we confirm 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
Alright. Okay, let's look at number 4. 4 says process management. Okay, listing and terminating processes. Remember, like we did tail, we did head, we did also kill, right? So the terminal that will run for a while, example, sleep 300, and use a process listing command to find the process ID, and then terminate the sleep process by its PID, by its process ID. Okay. We go back over here. All right. So if I typed in kill, right, we need the process ID. Okay, so we're gonna create a command, right? Sleep, sleep. Where's my L? Oh, fat fingered the L. SLEEP. Really? Again? There we go. My hands. 300. There's the process ID. The process ID is 1861. AUX. And grep. Now grep is to find sleep. There's our process ID here, right? Process ID, and it's running right now. Okay, you see down here 2488, and if I wait a few more minutes, 2484. See the number fluctuates. So now we want to grep sleep, right? So this gives us the 1861. The 1 bracket means there's only one process with that program ID of 1861. So this tells us this pgrep show me the program ID for sleep. And so we can say kill, right? Kill what program ID? 1861. Okay. And PS auxiliary show me, if I just type in that, those are all your program IDs right now, that everything that's running at the moment. Okay, so if I say kill kill 44. Oh Christ, this is right. I killed whatever that program was. Okay, hold on, let me get back in. Luckily, again, so that's the same thing. I showed you here, remember in Task Manager, Windows, these are all the programs, and if I say, something that hangs up, meaning that's been running, and this is why, like on the CPU, like if you see something that's stuck for a while, you can always right click, and then, where is it? Oh, that one. End task, right? You have to be in administrative mode. You wanna end the task. So where was I? Oh, PS auxiliary, and grep sleep. Right? And it's nothing there. So we killed it, okay? Killed the what did I kill? 44? I don't know what 44 was. See? PS auxiliary, that command, the one I just typed in, its program ID is 2296. Alright, nice. Okay, let's look at, exit out of there. Let's see, Word. Number 5, edit, text editing. Use a text editor, Nano, or what was the other one that we used, VTY, right? And explain Linux in your own words. So basically, we're gonna create a file, a simple text file in our home directory. We're gonna call it Linux intro. Okay, and then we're just gonna type some text in the file and then save the file. Okay, and then show the contents is the little cat, right? Cat concatenation. Okay, so let's go to our home directory, cd. Okay, cd nano Linux underscore intro dot txt. So Nano is the text editor program. Linux underscore intro text is the name of the file. You've seen that screen before. Okay. Hello. I love Linux. It is a awesome OS, right? Remember, to get out of there, okay, you gotta be careful, we gotta save this. Alright, this is the end. Alright. To get out of there is Control X, was it? Control X, right? Control X, save, yes. Okay, the file name, Linux underscore intro, yes, enter. So, just to make sure, if I do ls, look, Linux intro.txt, and then to see the contents of that is gatito, cat,
Gato.
Linux el gato, el conejo malo. Okay, there it is. Hello, I love Linux and awesome OS. El gatito.
It's a good way to remember it.
Cat, meow, cat. Cat. Alright. And remember, and if you get stuck on any of these, you can always go back to the handouts that posted. I'm pretty sure if you go to YouTube or even AI, it's not like you're gonna keep you away from that, right? These are just like I just picked here like the top 10 stuff that we really need to focus on, because Linux is an operating system, but it's a very complex operating system. So, until we need to create something with Linux or using Linux platform, it's like anything else. Then we're not going to remember those commands until we actually need them. But creating a user, common, creating a file, copying, moving a directory, making a directory, deleting a directory, those are skills that we all need to have. Alright, system information. Okay, display the Linux kernel version, display information about the CPU, display how much memory your system has. You remember those good old days, right? Alright, first one, the Linux kernel, and then the CPU, and then also RAM, right? So if I say uname, where am I? NAME, uname R. There's my Linux version, 5.40-162. List CPU. There's my CPU. Alright, come up here a little bit. x86-64, byte order, right? 4 CPUs, yada yada. Intel Xeon R. So this is running on a server because Xeon processors are only on a server, right? And it's running at 4 gigs. Okay. And then the last one was how much memory? Free Ashe. Okay, so there's my memory. Yeah, so this computer has 16 gigs, right? 16 gigs of memory. Not too bad. Again, this is, some LabX machine out there on the World Wide Webs. Okay. File permissions. Create a file, name owner underscore, set permissions so that only the owner has read and write. Remember, that's that change mod. Now, I don't expect for us to, I mentioned this before. I don't even remember the numbers? We had 0 through 9, okay? Those are, you change the file permissions for the user, for the group, and others. So change mod 667, change mod 771, change mod 111, right? So we'll have to, you're gonna have to Google those, the actual numbers, because I don't even remember those numbers. Create another file named team underscore share and set permission so the owner and the group have read, write, and the others only have read access. So this is change mod, chmod command. Alright, so back on the home, cd, right, the home directory, okay, touch. Remember the command touch is to create a file. Owner, right, whatever the file name is, owner only .txt, and then team underscore share .txt.
Damn it.
You can oops, sorry, misspelled team, that's alright. You can create more than one file on the same command. So if I want to create a third file, right, this is underscore third file .txt. Okay? So if I do if I do ls, there's my files. Look. Owner only, there it is, text. Team share text, and then third file. This is third file. So we can create more than one file. It's very common for if we need to create 3 files or 5 files, it's very common that we do them one at a time. But you don't have to do them, one at a time. We can just do them all at once. Save some typing. Okay, so let's change mod. Change mod. In this case, is 600 to the owner, so that only the owner has access to read write txt. Change mod. Right, change mod. Team. Oh, need the number. Change mod 664. Right, team underscore share .txt. ls. And that's right here, look. Read write, right? Read write. So if we look at owner only the owner has read write permissions. Everybody else, nada. In your home directory, set permissions so that only the owner has read and write, with no permissions given for everybody else. Okay? So that's 0, 0. Remember 0, nada, nothing. And then 664 for team share right here. Only the owner and the group have read write. The other ones only have read permission. Okay. You see the third file by default is also RWR. And if we said, okay, what if no one should have permission, right, for anything? So change mod 000 to this. This is third file.txt lsl, and we see here that no one has any permission for this file. And if I do cat, right, un gatito malo, this, well, it's gonna be empty. Well, I want probably get an error. Watch. Spell it. Third file.txt. It says permission denied, right? Because we change the permission so that the user, the group, and others have no permissions. And this is what I was mentioning, that it's hard. I mean, it is. I for some reason I can't remember. Change mod. Let's see, table. Right. It's this one here. Right here. So 0 is no permission. 6, right, is read write permission. Okay. And then depending on, and then you have change mod, the user, the group, and others. So 660 would be read write, and then 0 is no one. Okay, which is what we're doing here. All right. Number 8. This is what we just finished covering, or you're working on. Display your current IP address, right? The IP, that you should always know what your IP is. Prefer IPA, if not available, use ifconfig. Use ping command to test connectivity to Google's OpenDNS, 888, and stop after 4 to 5 packets with Control-C. Pretty straightforward, so let's see. Let's take a look at